Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. The United Nations has warned that almost 250,000 children in parts of Niger's Borno state are suffering from severe malnutrition. The northeast region was formerly under the control of Islamic sect Boko Haram. The agency says tens of thousands would die if treatment does not reach the children very soon. In areas where Boko Haram militants have been in control, UN says it's found people without water, food or sanitation. Boko Haram's 7-year rebellion has left 20,000 people dead and more than 2 million displaced. The Nigerian House of Reps have met with security chiefs over the state of insecurity in the country. The country, which is still battling Islamic sect Boko Haram, has been plagued by recent kidnapping sprees by suspected militants, attacks on oil installations in the Niger Delta, and a rise in herdsmen-farmers clashes. To address this, the House of Reps met with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur, Acting Inspector General of Police Force, Ibrahim Idris, and the head of the Department of Security Services. At the meeting, the security heads briefed the committee on their operational strategies to contain the security situation. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has convened an emergency security council meeting following the rising number of kidnapping in the state. The meeting was attended by heads of security agencies in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. Briefing journalists at the end of the meeting, Lagos State Commissioner of Police Fatai Owoseni said that the government and all security agencies in the state are bothered about the emerging crime of kidnapping. He said efforts are being made to rescue all those kidnapped recently in the state, including the Oniba of Ibaland, Oba Yushao Goriola Oseni. The state government assured residents that efforts are being put in place to make kidnapping a thing of the past in Lagos State. Top military officers from Nigeria and South Africa have gathered to discuss how to improve security in both countries. The officials also spoke on ways to ensure peace and stability through intelligence gathering, arms procurement, and technical expertise. With an upsurge in the activities of terrorists, the officials believe that it was time to act. This, they agreed, will be achieved through collaboration between both countries. They said that the renewed cooperation will revolve around military training, equipment support, and communication. The House of Reps is picking up the petroleum industry bill for a speedy consideration, its Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, has confirmed. Dogara said the legislature found the initiative necessary after President Muhammad Buhari's administration repeatedly ignored calls to send an executive version of the bill. The bill has remained stuck at the National Assembly since 2009, despite the huge impact experts said a petroleum industry bill could have on Nigeria's economy. Dogara said he sought to prevent past occurrences whereby the executive sent in the legislation late, consequently depriving lawmakers the much-needed time to thoroughly consider such a document. Senate President Bukola Saraki says he remains loyal to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). In a statement signed and released by his office in Abuja, Senator Saraki said he also believes President Muhammad Buhari's government will redeem its promises made during the 2015 general elections. Senator Saraki stated that the APC government is unwavering in its commitment to the social welfare of the Nigerian people. Lawmakers to the detained leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, have attributed their absence at the Judicial Commission of Inquiry to the Commission's inability to reach their clients. The inquiry had been instituted by the Kaduna State government. In a statement signed by Festus Okoye on behalf of El-Zakzaky's legal team, the lawyer said the Kaduna State government had already made up its mind to frame charges of culpable homicide, rioting, unlawful assembly, possession of charms, and unlawful restraint against 251 members of the Shiite sect. Governor Nasir El-Rufai in January this year set up a judicial commission of inquiry to probe the clash that led to the deaths of so many people. Factional chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, has given conditions that must be met by the McCarthy-led caretaker committee for peace to reign. He said the only condition for peace to reign in the PDP is if the caretaker committee led by Ahmed McCarthy resigns, because there is no place for the committee in the party's constitution, therefore it should be dissolved. He proposed that he should be allowed to nominate a chairman and 10 persons into the new convention committee. Now, the leadership crisis rocking the PDP is not just at the national level. In Lagos State, the power tussle in the party continues to get worse day by day. Two leaders of the party in the state, Deputy Chairman Sakiru Opena and former senatorial candidate Shego Adewale, are battling for the post of Lagos PDP chairman. At different venues in Lagos State on Tuesday, both men held press conferences to discuss the state of the party. The two factional leaders also confirmed the party is ready to participate in the next local government elections in all the 57 local council areas in Lagos.
About being duly elected, let him show you proof of being duly elected. I'm sure some of you were here the day we held our congresses, particularly the State Congress. INEC was here from Abuja and Lagos State. The SSS were here, the police were here. We did not conduct our Congress in a closet. It was done in the open, and this is where we did it. So there's no point joining issue with people like him. Well, for your information, when Shego Adewale sometimes said he was once a motor parked out before he went to school, and if you look at his face, he has all these marks all over his body. Probably he mistook a political party to a garage where cutlasses and guns were used to take over. He needs to go back to school to go and read political science and a little bit of constitutional law so that he can be seriously acquainted with a decent body like a political party whose business is welfare of the people.
Bode George decided to, have his own Congress separately from the main, from the main Congress, meaning that he decided unilaterally want to have a Congress on his own, without, having it, with everybody, all the stakeholders in Lagos State. That's what happened. So it's not as if maybe we didn't do, or I didn't buy form, or we just, some people just decide to just make me, the chairman. No. So what happened is that on that same day, he just called his supporters to have, a Congress in the secretariat without anybody from Abuja, like an official from Sheriff. Like we did our own Congress, and I emerged as the chairman. I have a letter confirming my position. It's not as if maybe somebody is desperate that it's a do or die affair. I must become the chairman of PDP Lagos. No, at all. So up to today, what we now did is just that. So far, they will not have a Congress with everybody, all the stakeholders in Lagos State. They decide to have their Congress alone in a 3-bedroom apartment. And that's what Bode George normally do every 4 years.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has released a list of 19 political parties that will participate in the September 10th governorship election in Edo State. The list signed in Benin City by INEC's Head of Legal Services, Matthew Ugwocha, also contained the names of candidates being fielded by the parties. The list contains 19 male governorship candidates, 15 male running mates, and 4 female running mates. Nigeria's electoral body also confirmed that a candidate recognized by the main opposition party is Osage Ize Iyamo, who is also the candidate of the Ahmed McCarthy Committee. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has disapproved the government's decision to withdraw the right of conducting post-UTME tests from Nigerian universities. The union's president, Biodun Ogunyemi, disclosed this at a press conference in Abuja. Ogunyemi said it was disappointing that such a far-reaching decision was pronounced without consultations with relevant stakeholders in the sector.
The ban on post-UTME and the granting of JAMB exclusive rights to admit students to tertiary institutions, especially universities, are mistakes that will come round to haunt our nation in the not too distant future. Everywhere in the world, university senates are responsible for admissions, and Nigeria cannot be an exemption. The post-UTME has its problems, which we believe can be addressed. To curtail exploitation of parents and candidates, government can improve funding to universities and other tertiary institutions. Total implementation of the 2009 ASU-FGN agreement, especially the funding for the fertilization, that is, needs assessment intervention, and other service-related conditions, like payment of staff entitlements, salaries, and allowances, and so on. Registration of NOPENCO will not only increase access, but also ensure industrial harmony and sustainable scheduling in the system. Review of validity period of UTME or its registration fees from 1 to 3 years will reduce exploitation by JAMB and ensure fairness to candidates. ASU shall never accept policies which violate university autonomy. This is a call to all well-meaning Nigerians to intervene to avert a looming crisis in the Nigerian university system.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is set to prosecute suspended Federal High Court Judge Justice Mohammed Yunusa. He was recently recommended for retirement by the Judicial Commission. Justice Yunusa had earlier been accused of taking bribe from a senior advocate of Nigeria, Ricky Tafa, who is also on trial for allegedly offering gratification to a public official. Tafa, however, stated in an affidavit he filed before a federal high court in Lagos State that the money was a donation by some friends of Justice Yunusa regarding the funeral rites of his father-in-law. You've been watching TV360 News. Now we'll take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll look at business and international stories. Don't go away.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss. Rubbish.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No.
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back to Business Stories now. Nigerian currency dealers have introduced a maximum resale premium on dollar trades on the interbank markets. This is expected to boost liquidity after the Naira touched a record low in thin trade last week. Traders under the umbrella of Financial Market Dealers Association, FMDA, set the spread at a ceiling of 0.50 Naira per dollar on Monday. The Naira tumbled 4.3% to 295.25 per dollar on Friday last week, before recovering slightly to close at 290 per dollar. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has slashed its growth forecast for the Nigerian economy this year. The global body on Tuesday said a combination of plunging oil revenues and weakened investor confidence will push Nigeria into recession. The IMF said it expects Africa's largest economy to contract by 1.8% this year, after having forecast in April a 2.3% expansion. Skybank has begun its recovery process after losing about half of its shares value in less than 11 days. This follows the CBN's decision to change its top management. The bank's shares depleted drastically over the past 7 trading days, seeing a decline of over 31% in 5 days. However, its outlook took an upward turn at the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Monday, gaining over 10% of its share value to close at 66 kobo per naira. from 60 kobo on Friday. The bank, which is now just 8th biggest lender by asset, saw 138.26 million naira worth of shares traded on Monday as its share value began its appreciation process. Still on business, oil prices eased on Tuesday as the concerns over a crude and refined fuel glut outweighed an expected cut in U.S. shale production. Brent crude slipped 11 cents to $46.85 per barrel, while U.S. crude fell 11 cents to $45.13 per barrel. U.S. shale oil production is expected to fall in August this year for a 10th straight month by 99,000 barrels per day to 4.55 million barrels per day. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir is hoping that the African Union shelves its plan to deploy troops to his country in the wake of the deadly uprising. African Union leaders had approved plans to deploy troops on Tuesday. This comes days after recent fighting between rival forces left over 300 people dead. The country is, however, not so pleased with the decision. So far, the continental body has only sent forces in at least the request of the states in need. Soldiers for the African Union force are to come from Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, and also Uganda. At least 12 soldiers have died in an attack on a military base in central Mali. Officials in Mali say the heavily armed men took control of the base, part of which had been set on fire. The assailants also wounded at least 27 people. It's still not clear who the attackers are really. Moving on to sports stories now, Paul Le Guen has rejected NFF's offer to become Niger's new coach. French media reports say the former Lyon Rangers and Cameroon coach rejected the offer because the NFF failed to meet his terms and demands. Earlier this month, the Nigerian Football Federation revealed a three-man shortlist of former Cameroon coach Paul Le Guen, former interim coach Salisu Yusuf, and former Ethiopian coach Tom Saintfiet for the post. The three men were interviewed on Monday with a member of the committee, Paul Bassi, revealing that the body chose Le Guen as a new manager, while Salisu has been offered the role of an assistant manager.
About a week ago, this committee met and shortlisted 3 coaches for the post of technical advisor of the Nigerian Football Federation. Today, we have taken a decision. We have recommended and strongly to the board that Paul Le Guen be appointed the technical advisor. That is what we have done. We've also made some other appointments, so other recommendations, let me put it that way. Salisu Yusuf will assist him. Amama will assist him of Rangers. And Aloya Go as a good pass trainer. We have also recommended that Bitrus Bewarang be appointed National Technical Director. And that Nduko Gabade should return to 2017. As assistant coach to Manu. Those are the decisions we have taken. Bearing agreement on contract terms and the emoluments and allowances and everything, Paul Le Guen becomes the technical advisor of the Nigerian Football Federation.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Football Federation has denied appointing Le Guen as the new coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles. The NFF says it only recommended the Frenchman to the NFF board. The football body said the former Lyon manager objected to the terms offered in his contract. Nigerian international Victor Moses says he is ready to fight for his place ahead of the 2016-2017 Premier League season in Chelsea. Moses, who joined Chelsea in 2012, had gone on loan in the past 3 seasons. He, however, expressed confidence that he could impress new manager Antonio Conte in the club's upcoming pre-season friendlies. The International Olympic Committee says it is seeking legal advice over the possibility of excluding all Russian sports stars from the Olympic Games in Rio, Brazil. On Monday, the World Anti-Doping Agency WADA recommended that all Russian athletes be banned from the upcoming Rio Olympics after an explosive report into doping. The IOC says it would take into account a ruling from the Court of Arbitration for Sports due on July 21st. The ruling will address appeals from Russian athletes against the initial ban. Well, that's all we have on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.